the international tournament schedule. If you had it in front of you, you would see in the States there are at least almost 4 a week across the country, and you can choose which one is closest to you and then go there. So it definitely is for the States, and also you get all the surfaces there. They've got the hard court, which we used to. Then they've got the rebound ace as well, which is the same as Australian Open. They've got the indoor courts, so even if you're playing in the winter time, they've got carpet indoor, supreme indoor. They've got artificial clay indoor. They've got what's the other one is down in Florida. They've got a lot of green clay, which is an interesting one. So yes, you get the variety. They've even got grass courts, which is the Newport tournament as well. So you do get exposure to a lot more in America.
And that's how you can prepare yourself for whatever conditions anywhere in the world, barring obviously your weather conditions. The court and the surfaces how they play, you can do it in the comfort of one area.
Yes, and it's a massive advantage. I mean, every single surface gives you a different challenge, and your game is naturally more suited to the one you grew up on. Which is once again the home court advantage of what Lloyd and Ruan is used to. This is the type of courts they grew up on. This is what they enjoy. So it does make a difference. Your game is naturally suited to that.
Just about to get the first tie underway. We'll see our South African number 1 Lloyd Harris up against Alexandar Lazarov of Bulgaria, aged 21 and 22, so they're fairly similar in age. Lloyd comes in with a Davis Cup record of 9-3 win-loss record. Lazarov win-loss record of 2-3.
Yes, it's quite nice to have Lloyd, having played so many matches already. He was almost can say thrown in the deep end right in the beginning, as he had to pretty much step up and play the Davis Cup matches. So we haven't really had our top players involved in his previous years, but now he's really proved himself to get to this number 1 spot, and yeah, I'm pretty happy with him representing South Africa. I definitely think he stands a good chance here.
Definitely, and like you said earlier, the home conditions will suit him. I know that just chatting to the Bulgarian team yesterday, they were saying they've come for the win.
Yes, I'm sure they have. It's interesting. We also played against I think my first Davis Cup was against Bulgaria in Bloemfontein, and I must say they're feisty players. The country itself, they definitely mean business when they get onto the sports field.
And South Africa last played Bulgaria in 1993. That was a Euro-Africa Group 2 quarter-final in Bulgaria, and South Africa won that tie 4-1. So if we go according to history, this should go South Africa's way, but I'm sure the opponents and the visiting team will want to have something to say about that.
Alexandar Lazarov. The 21-year-old was born in Miami, USA, and his height ranking is 448, and that is currently in 2019. There is broad daylight between Lloyd Harris and Alexandar Lazarov on the latest ATP World Rankings. The 22-year-old Harris is at 113, and Alexandar Lazarov, 21, is much further down at 527.
So there we've got the sides that's playing against each other here. We've got obviously the Lloyd Harris that's on the court right now, Philip Henning, who's the reserve on the side, Ruan Rulofse and Raven Klaasen. Ruan, of course, doing the second singles, and Raven stepping up for his doubles performance. On the Bulgarian side, we've got Dimitrov Kuzmanov, and then Alexander Lazarov, Alexandar Donsky, and Gabriel Donne. So captains on this side, Marcus Andruska, of course, an old South African player. He's going to kill me if I say old. So very talented and experienced South African tennis player. I think he'll approve of that one a little bit more. And definitely a good person to lead this team. He's been there, done that, done the coaching, done the playing. So I definitely think South African team is very, very happy to have him on their side.
Nani, what do you think the approach will be? Obviously, both teams would have done their homework and their research on the opponents. From a South African point of view, what do you think the plan would be in this first tie?
Well, I think, first of all, if I had to put myself in Lloyd's shoes, I think it's very important just for him to get the nerves out of the way. There's definitely a lot of nerves involved when you're representing your country, and you know, it's just getting the first score on the board is the first step. And yeah, it sounds basic, but a lot of times it's really difficult to do. So once you get that first game out of the way, and just to relax and get into a bit of a groove, obviously to get the lead in a Davis Cup is very important. So a lot's riding on this match.
And from a promotion from Group 2 to Group 1, how important is that, and what does it mean for the team taking the step up to the Group 1?
Well, I think especially because of the age of our players and the rankings and where they're at in their career right now, it'd be fantastic for them to have the opportunity to win this one, to get to the higher group, back to where they were, and to be able to compete against the stronger teams of the Davis Cup level. And it's always, you know, it's just that much nicer when it's in the next level, in the next group. It's almost like it becomes, if they lose this one, it's a long way back. You know, you have a long way to get back up there. But it's, you know, I really enjoyed these matches because there's a lot riding on it, and it's always interesting, and one enjoys it a lot.
There's just a partisan crowd pre-match announcement that I need to make. Ladies and gentlemen, the Davis Cup competition is very exciting, and part of that excitement is the crowd's support for their teams and players. However, noise during the service motion between first and second serve,
and just giving the audience a little bit of a housekeeping rules. Yes, do not scream in the middle. Don't yell too much. Well, I mean, it's a good point, because you don't really get a lot of international tennis in South Africa, so I think the players would definitely appreciate it.
But please do not create disturbances during play. Thank you.
Time.
I couldn't actually hear now, but I hope they put their phones on silent as well.
Well, we certainly have that in the studio where our phones are on silent, but you never know. Well, the phones will be on silent, but certainly be very easily accessible, because I'm telling you now, those photo lenses on those camera phones are going to be working overtime today.
A last little bit of pep talk there from Marcus's side. The drinks that Marcus just put into that in that container there that he was handed is obviously each player likes to have their own mix made up of what works for them on the court. It's obviously nothing illegal. There's a huge list of things that is, they do a lot of drug testing, so it's all the stuff that they're allowed to take. But each player still has a preference, so their own mixes.
I didn't see any bananas there.
Yes, I think that's old school.
First set. Alexandar Lazarov representing Bulgaria to serve. Ready?
Oh, that's a good start.
Get
Love
the
15.
nerves out the way a bit, if you can get this first game under the belt.
Ball point, please. Love 30.
Really getting to a bit of a rally there. I don't know if you noticed there, Brennan, but they had Lloyd was starting quite far behind the baseline and just getting into a bit of a groove first with his ground strokes, and then he stepped up. He's pretty much out of the screen there.
Yes.
To see. But I don't know if that's maybe going to be the tactic here. He's going to get him into a bit of a groove and then wait for the ball to step up. Oh, nice shot. That was called in.
Love 40.
And has a chance. It's 3 break points now in the opening game.
Well, it's okay. Don't worry about the point. Wait, please. Mate, don't worry about the points. Just take the ball. Thanks. Just take the ball then. Thank you.
Ball boy is a little bit too concerned about changing the points on the scoreboard, and he's forgetting to pick up the ball that's lying around.
$15-40.
Don't worry about the points, ball boy. Ball boy. Ball boy.
Again, that's probably the moment's too big for him.
That's a very good backhand into that corner there. You can't really see it on the screen very well, but the Bulgarian's got an extremely, he's got a lot of spin on that ball. It's kicking off quite hard from the court, which is making Lloyd stand that little bit
Quite
further
deeper.
back. And which that last backhand had a lot of that on there, which is why he managed to pull it into the net.
Bulgarian certainly is a very strong player physically, maybe shorter than Lloyd, but he's strong physically.
Juice.
Yes, it's a definitely, having grown up on clay courts, you build up a very different upper body strength, because you're playing a lot more, you're hitting a lot more balls. It's not as easy to hit a winner. You have to create the openings on the court. Unfortunately, Lloyd has just dropped this little bit of lead he had. Interesting though, that's the 4th point now that he's come up to the net and then he loses the point. One would think the Bulgarian would realize he needs to rather just rally from the back, but I'm not going to stop him at this point.
I'm sure Lloyd would want to get this one under the belt. He's dropped 3 break points. He's allowed him to draw level, and now he's got the advantage again.
Game.
Just a little bit long. So that gives South Africa the first game in this Davis Cup tie.
Just getting back to you mentioning the Europeans growing up and all the Bulgarians playing on clay courts, and it's developing obviously the different set of muscles and having you to be physically stronger. And on the note of the spin, we see that as well with someone like Rafael Nadal, a clay court specialist as he's termed, and he does put quite a bit of revolutions on the ball.
Yes, and also you learn to generate a lot more power with the rest of your body. If you slow the people's shots down to really looking from the side, looking at how they strike the ball, there's a lot more coming from the legs, the middle, the core, and then eventually the arm actually creating the power. So it's a lot more of a full body flow, and it does definitely generate more spin. $15 love. I think Lazarov's got a little bit of nerves going on. He's pretty sure he's not happy with. Yeah, there we go. He's got the head shake. Oh, beautiful first serve down the middle, using the full extent of his tall body.
He is, definitely. And in that first serve, it looked like he put quite a bit of topspin on the ball, so it pops when it reaches Lazarov.
Yes, he uses his height really well. It's kind of like putting the spin, but not just only the spin, but really getting up there, making sure that you're getting it to bounce quite high, like that second serve came through. There we go, well constructed point.
40 love.
That was a good second serve, but I must say, I do agree that that call looked... I'm not sure about that second serve call. It would be interesting if one would have had an eagle eye on that line. But I'm sure Lloyd's not complaining.
And Lazarov's asking.
Yes, he was. He's but a 2-love lead for South Africa. And Bulgarians pep talking their player, telling him to get back into this. That first game was quite a crucial start. Oh, great move. I was going to say that that drop shot wasn't quite good enough, but then he came in with a very good volley after that. Just for interest's sake, that we had our wonderful guys here on the TV side check for us on that second serve call, and it was smack bang on the line. So good serve. That was called perfectly by the umpire as well.
Yes.
Love 30.
Harris getting into a bit of a rhythm now, and this is something that Lazarov is not wanting. Because once Lloyd gets into a bit of a rhythm, he might just, like, it would be quite a walkover. He's 30 love up now, it's possibly another break.
Well, that was that first game that you know, both players being nervous, the match starting. And just getting into the match is so important. So that first game does really set a trend, and Lloyd did very well to break in the first game. And you can see from his walk, you can see from the way he's hitting the shots, he's loose, he's relaxed, and I think he's enjoying it.
He's enjoying playing at home in front of the home crowd, it seems.
Definitely. That was a very nice slice from Lazarov, and it wasn't a bad idea to come up to the net, but you know, your approach shot always needs to be well placed, and that was just too much in the strike zone.
Well, it's the first time he's lost a point coming to the net. It's always worked for him in the last couple of points that he has come up to the net, but just not that time.
Good.
Well done. Second break for South Africa, putting Harris into a 3-love lead in the first set.
It seems like a lot of Lloyd's experience in the last couple of months, the tournaments he's played in, is standing him in good stead now, because he's got that experience playing against some of the best in the world, and he's certainly putting those experiences to good use now.
Yes, I think one of the things people don't always realize is that if you look at the top 250, 300 players in the world, shot-wise, physical ability-wise, all of that, they are pretty much on par. There's not much separating them. It really is a difference between confidence, mental ability, where they're at in their, in kind of like a standing with the amount of tournaments they've been playing, who they've had in the last draws. There's a lot of luck involved in draws as well. And I think for Lloyd, he's now gotten used to the level of play. He's gotten used to the type of opponents he's playing. He's not so much, he's not a junior that's shell-shocked anymore. He is actually physically realizing that he can compete against anyone.
Mm-hmm. I suppose it takes quite a bit to take a set off the great Federer, so yeah, he's done it.
Yes, definitely. That's I'm pretty sure that's part of why he's looking quite confident right now. Well, let's see if he can keep this going. Lloyd really keeping the balls nice and deep, and you can see he's thinking about where he's placing it. But looking at the difference between the two players, that is what is actually creating a massive change here, is that Lloyd is managing to place his balls deep, whereas Lazarov is really struggling on that and giving Lloyd the opportunity to step in and, like you said, come up to the net, finish the point. Nice shot.
Definitely experience counting for Lloyd, knowing when to come up to the net and when to just stay on the baseline.
Yes, also he's obviously feeling quite confident on his volleys at the moment. It's looking very solid. He doesn't have, his upper body strength and the way he's striking those volleys. He's definitely confident in coming in and taking any volley, which helps a lot.
Yeah, confidence definitely something that he's got on his side, and it's working in his favor. 3 match points or game points up now.
Game, South Africa.
And he takes a 4-0 lead in the first set. What do you think Lazarov will be thinking now?
I was literally just thinking that at the moment, and was just, if I was in his shoes right now, my first priority would be to get that first serve in. And doesn't matter whether you have to slow it down a little bit, but even if it has to be a really big second serve, at the moment Lloyd is running around his backhand and really creating the points with his forehand. So I would probably get him, see if he can at least get the clearance over the net, make sure your balls are going a little bit deeper, even put a little bit more spin on it, push Lloyd back so that he can't step up, but get into a groove. Get yourself to make those 4 or 5 balls so that you get your rhythm back. Because right now he's not getting an opportunity to even create his own rhythm, get into the game again. Ball boy unfortunately dropping that ball and creating a let. So this point will now be replayed.
Love 50.
Ever have any of those while you were playing on the tour? How frustrating is it?
It's very frustrating, but I must say, we can forgive these ball boys. They don't really get the opportunity to do this often. I'm pretty sure they've also got nerves, and there are some of them are local players, and but they're definitely not used to this. There we go. So Lazarov definitely also realizing that he needs to get onto Lloyd's backhand a little bit more and trying to put a little bit deeper. He was slowing it down a little bit, but that's a start. Get your first point, get your second point on the board,
and build from there. certainly working in Lazarov's favor. He seems to be slowing the game down a bit and gaining his composure so he can get a bit of a rhythm and not having Lloyd dictate the pace of the game to him.
Yes, remember, the more confident you are and the more in front you are, you walk faster, you start the point faster. So being Lazarov serving right now, he has the ability to slow the game down. And that previous point really was well played. Mixed up the topspin and the slices, kept Lloyd on, going both sides. Oh, well played. Lloyd's long legs working in his favor there, getting but quick off the mark as well. He really has good strength forward.
And that drop shot just didn't work out in Lazarov's favor.
Yes, that's the first little bit of negative body language we've seen from Lloyd.
And Lazarov getting his first chance to claim a game.
Juice.
I think just a little bit over keen to get that point.
Over keen, and those little moments when you have it in your grasp and you lose it, it must knock your confidence a bit. And I mean, it seems like he's lacking a bit of confidence already.
Yes, it's it's all about timing when you're playing tennis. It's all about knowing what to hit at what time. That's what makes tennis such a difficult sport. Not only is it physically extremely difficult, but it's tactically a tough sport.
Advantage Bulgaria.
Another game point for Bulgaria.
Juice.
Oh, well done, running around that second serve.
And meeting it on his forehand, which you don't always get the chance to do, but when you do get the chance and you know your forehand is stronger, take the chance and run around the ball.
Yes, I definitely. There's a few unforced errors that's been slipping in for Lloyd in the last game, which has made the difference. Just wide.
He seems to be, his backhand is definitely the weaker side for Lloyd Harris, because it's the second time, the previous point, and then before that as well, where he hit it into the net off the backhand.
Well, I think it's not that it's that much weaker. He does have the same, he just doesn't have as much ability to dictate from it as he would on his forehand side, which is why he likes to run around it. But the balls are jumping a lot, and which creates it. He has to hit the backhand, which is double hand, from above his shoulders. That's difficult, so he ends up pulling it down into the net. So you've seen a few of the errors coming down and hitting just under the tape, and that's just because the ball is bouncing up so high. And for a tall guy like Lloyd, those balls must be bouncing quite high.
Quite high.
That was unfortunate. Drop shot not quite good enough, and then when he went for the lob, he obviously didn't want to overhit it, and then he just gave him a nice easy sitter. But we're still up 4-1, first game for Bulgaria.
It Seems like it's, even though we've got overcast conditions, seems like it's warm out on the court.
Yes, definitely. The stands also always help with, you know, creating a little bit more heat, because we don't have that cool Cape Town breeze that's coming to the court as easily. But they're definitely working up a bit of a sweat there.
Well, Gary will be hoping that that is the start of a foundation for them to possibly get back into the set. Trailing by 4-1, South Africa leading 4-1 at the moment.
Yes, Lloyd should just really, you know, stay calm right now, stay positive, not to be too critical on himself. It is 4-1. If he manages to just, you know, his focus should now just to be to hold his serve, look at a nice high first serve percentage, and playing solid, because he's, you know, he's up, and you know, if he's going to become too critical on himself right now, he can let it slip.
Team captain Marcus van Drieske obviously giving him some advice there. Marcus having played Davis Cup for many years, knowing what it takes, and just trying to settle the nerves a bit.
Yes, he would definitely be able to give some valuable input, and yeah, he's also just an extremely calm guy, which always helps. He's got a very good eye for, you know, just planning. He was not really, when he played, he was more of a baseliner as well, and he was very tactical in the way he played, and so he would definitely be able to give Lloyd quite a lot of good input on how to deal with the situation.
Sun coming out nicely now.
Lloyd maybe not thinking the same thing.
That.
Yes, he's going, come on, Cloud, come back.
Tossing the ball and looking into the sun.
Beautiful backhand there from Lloyd. Struck extremely well. You know, if I had to guess, I would probably think that Marcus was telling him, you know, stop really trying to run around every backhand and just stay in the middle and strike it well, because he's opening up his forehand side, you know, for the Bulgarian to pick on the corner.
And then he'd cross court.
Yes, and his backhand is good enough to just work off that. Two well played points.
And Bulgaria is obviously going to target the backhand side all the time if they know he's going to be running around it all the time.
That one's difficult to know. I think the length of the mark would probably be difficult to watch, but yes, that I don't really know what that call would have been, but
it seems Lazarov has confirmed that it was just about in, on the line.
Let's hope that's what he said. Just wanting to be a little bit smart there and go down the line instead of inside out, but unfortunately overhit that.
I think he just gets a bit more adventurous when he knows he's got the advantage and he's up in the game.
Oh, very well struck.
South Africa lead 5-1 for set.
South Africa seem to be making very light work of this first set now.
Yes, now this could be a really nice opportunity for Lloyd. If he can break on this one, it means he's starting the next set on his own serve, and he's been holding those comfortably, so he would definitely aim to take this game instead of just waiting for the next service game.
And get the advantage in the second set. It is, of course, the best of three, so first to two sets wins.
15 love.
Lloyd still, I must say, it's at the beginning of the first set, he was hitting his balls quite a bit deeper. It seems like he's lost about 1.5 meters on where his ball's bouncing right now. He really should try maybe just and, lift it a little bit higher over the net to get that depth. Oh, so I think that was an accidental shot from Lloyd's side, but because of the previous shot that was so nice and deep in the corner, he managed to get away with that one.
And he played quite a couple of shots quite deep. As you mentioned, he should be considering going for pushing Lazarov a bit deeper, and he did that, and it seemed to have worked out for him.
Oh,
30-15.
it's the right choice. Just pushed it a little bit long. Oh, well played. That was an extremely well constructed point there. Using that big forehand of his down the line unbelievably well. Don't know if you remember the Pete Sampras forehands. I used to love those.
Flat
I don't
and
think
down
I
the
may be
line.
giving away my age here, but he used to do that down the line forehand beautifully.
Pistol Pete, the pistol forehand when he loads it.
40-30.
Just a little bit wide. So game point for Bulgaria. Shame, almost killed the country with that name.
Latvia. Game. Bulgaria. New balls, please.
So Lazarov holds his serve.
South Africa leads 5 games to 2 first set.
Lloyd showing that serve shot through obviously bounced on something and just came through quite low, which is why he completely missed it. But yeah,
Yeah.
having a good laugh at that one. Had a grass court moment. But yes, he definitely, that was the right time for Lazarov to pull out that big first serve. But now new balls coming out. New balls, of course, meaning that they are smooth and the hairs haven't been puffed up yet from all the hitting, and especially with these heavy topspin going on, the hair tends to really fluff up the ball and really slow it down. So this will definitely count in Lloyd's favor with the serve, because if he can get the first serves in here, they will shoot.
And especially that he's serving for the set as well, so it's, I would imagine he welcomes the new balls.
Yes, definitely.
Time.
On the Bulgarian side, obviously they'll feel that they've got a bit of a start, and they would be looking to fight back and get back into the set, but still a long way to go, with South Africa leading 5 games to 2 at the moment, and serving Lloyd Harris serving for the set.
Just showing his opponent, reminding them of the new balls. Ooh. Don't want to kill the umpire just yet.
Tennis
Line
can
judge.
be dangerous.
Talking about the ball shooting through. Ooh, and that bounced in.
Oh!
No, and he missed it. Oh, shame.
Sometimes when it's easy, it's just too easy.
Oh, that happens. That really does happen. Shame, I feel for him. It's when it's too easy. Take your eye off the ball.
Love 15.
And he wasn't even looking into the sun. Sun is behind him right now. Oh, well done.
What a forehand.
It's a good comeback on that point. But it's a good thing to see that he took it quite lightly, the fact that he missed that. He did it with a smile. He could have easily really been hard on himself on that point.
And lose focus, because you tend to worry about that point that you lost. It was supposedly easy.
Just wide, so he's 30-15 up in this game.
30-15.
You saw Lloyd taking all the balls there that the ball girl had, choosing the two newest. Nice. Getting good depth, but I must agree with that call. I think it was a bit long.
Lloyd again running around the balls on his backhand.
I mean, he knows it's a big game, and he's a lot more comfortable and relaxed on the forehand. So on big points, he'd much rather be hitting a forehand than he would be hitting a backhand.
Double fault there.
Yes, not the best time to start with your first double fault of the match. But I think he needs to take his time a little bit here and just get a grip. Oh, well played. Very confident forehand there.
Juice.
Gets him back to deuce.
It certainly works in his favor, and as you mentioned earlier, when he keeps the ball quite deep and keeping Lazarov on the baseline.
Oh, well done. That was a tough shot, well played from the Bulgarian, and just too good.
Advantage, South Africa.
Perfectly down the line. Shows you that backhand really has nothing wrong with it. He just prefers the forehand.
Maybe it's a confidence thing as well. Like you're saying, he prefers the forehand because the big points and it's a big match, so he wants to make absolutely sure. Is he going for the big one to close out the set?
Oh, yeah, solid second serve.
Yes.
Not the best second serve he had there. Unfortunately, didn't quite just put it right there in the strike zone. So back to deuce.
That's the fight again.
Missed it wide.
Bulgaria.
It was a tough overhead. It was quite far behind him, but still tried to do just a little bit too much with it.
Maybe he needs to look at slowing it down a bit now. You don't want to lose the advantage too much.
So his first break point against him, and needs to just keep it solid here. Hopefully get that first serve in.
Game. Bulgaria.
Bulgaria break. South
Africa lead 5-3.
Lazarov breaks Harris for the first time. South Africa leading 5-3 in the first set. Raced out to a 4-1 lead. Harris initially, but Bulgaria seem to be hitting their straps now and getting back into that. Was the miscue earlier in that game that looked like it was going to be a definite point for South Africa, only for this to happen.
You know, I actually, now that I'm seeing this replay, it's sometimes when the sky is too clear, the ball comes, that was an extremely high shot, and sometimes when it's that clear, you cannot see how quickly it's coming down. So he mistimed it as it was coming down. It was coming from straight above him. So yes, that was very unfortunate.
Would the better option then have been to let the ball bounce?
Well, it did bounce just before that, but it was still, yes,
Still a problem.
It was still a problem. Yeah, it was really just all the way around a bit of a mishap. Mm, 15 all. So Lloyd just needs to relax here and just get his, you know, head calm. So he's broken him so many times already. He can. So he must just be relaxed and just make the ball, make him play. Good shot from Lazarov, dipping that ball very nicely just over the net, making sure Lloyd doesn't get an easy high volley.
And Lloyd just needs to slow it down now if he's looking to close out the set, because Lazarov is starting to get the confidence. He's got 3 games up. And Lazarus has now, Lazarov rather, not Lazarus.
Well, he could have risen from the dead. He has pretty much.
He has pretty much. He has come back from
yes,
almost being
it's quite appropriate little mishap there on your side. But yes, he has. He's
South Africa lead 5 goes to 4.
5-4 for South Africa. Lloyd will have an opportunity to serve for the set again. But this has made quite a big difference. You know, you don't really want to be playing games, extra games, if you don't need to.
If you don't need to, and he certainly didn't have to, but he's allowed, as I mentioned earlier, it was all about getting a rhythm, and it seemed like Lazarov has got his rhythm now, and he's getting those breaks.
Yes, Lloyd has unfortunately definitely allowed him to come back into the match. That was the volley that he dropped. Unfortunately, you could also see there with his racket head, he obviously was planning on just doing a short little volley, which, you know, he dropped the racket head and then unfortunately made it go into the net. But, and he's generally so solid on his volleys that is unfortunate. But definitely quite a bit more unforced errors slipping in the second half of the set so far. Lloyd was very solid in the first half, with Lazarov showing all the unforced errors earlier on, and so the balance is coming a little bit more now. So let's hope the two of them can slow down on the unforced errors and step up on the winners.
Well, I'm sure that either player is going to want to do that. Definitely from Lazarov's sides, we've seen an improvement, and he's just one game off pulling equal.
15 left.
Oh, nice serve. Right time to pull out a few nice wide aces. He's got the height. He had a brilliant angle on that serve.
And certainly with the new balls, the speed of the ball off the court is also going to obviously aid his cause.
Went for that. Right choice. Just pulled it down a bit. It is the higher part of the net, so one always has to remember when you're going down the line, you do have to measure that little bit higher on your shots.
Does your tallness or your height tend to force you to do that? Is it a common problem with the taller players, that because they're trying to get the ball down, because they're hitting from quite a high position, that they tend to play the ball into the net more often.
It's definitely an easier mistake to make. I mean, even for me, who I'm quite tall, you know, used to be quite tall on the ladies tour, but it was definitely, you know, it's more of a habit to then hit the ball more down, whereas the shorter players are constantly used to creating height. But still, in the end, when you get to the level these guys are at, you should be thinking of these things for every shot. You should know what you're doing. You should realize, I'm going over the highest part of the net now. That's what I'm supposed to be doing. So, yeah, works both ways.
Would you say the shorter guys have an easier time? And when I say shorter guys, looking at the guys in the past that just used to jump quite a bit to hit the balls, like the Andre Agassi's and the Michael Changs and things, they always seem to be airborne when they're hitting the balls.
Yes, exactly, to create that advantage that the tall guys have. So I would rather be tall in tennis than short, for sure.
Excellent.
Oh, that was a well-played point there. And, you know, really not going for the extreme corners, which is what he needs to realize. The balls need to be deep, but he's missed a few earlier where he's gone too wide. He doesn't need to go that wide. He's staying away from the lines now, which is nice. That's a great first serve. Once again, using that angle.
40-30.
So that's a set point for South Africa.
He has the option now. He has the chance. Let's hope.
Going for the big flat serve down the tee.
As I asked earlier, would he go for the big one? And now he has to go for the second serve, so it's going to be a bit less.
Good second serve.
He's certainly
And he's got the first set.
South Africa take a 1-0 lead in their first tie of this Davis Cup. And certainly put a lot of revolutions on that ball.
Yes, that was a very nice second serve. You could see it came up really nice and high, pushed his opponent back, you know, just forced him to do something. It's difficult when you're being pushed back that much with the second serve. You not only have to concentrate on getting the ball back, which has so much, you know, so many revolutions on it, but you also have to make sure it's now going deep. You're far back in the court. You have to know which corner you're choosing, because the next ball is going to go somewhere flat and fast if you're not in the right spot. So yes, it's a very solid high kicking second serve is always a good weapon.
It's quite a bit to think about, as you mentioned. Now you need to think when you're that deep and the ball is kicking on like that, where do you put it? You need to put it deep, because you don't want to put it just over the net, because then you run the risk of a drop shot being played and you sitting all the way back, further back from the baseline, and can't make it back. And
he's obviously, Lazarov is fully aware of that big forehand of Lloyd, so he knows when he puts the ball back there, it must be somewhere where he's not going to just pull it forward. So you see how high that ball was, even for Lloyd to take. That was a difficult shot he actually just hit there. That forehand was a tough one to make that well, but he's obviously very confident on that forehand. He strikes it well from anywhere, especially from above the shoulders, and that's tough for a lot of players.
If I didn't know any better, I would have said that was Rafael Nadal, the way he hit that forehand with that topspin.
Yes, he has an interesting, he does, you've got a few options when you hit that forehand topspin. You can either end with the racket over your shoulder, or you can end it, like you say, with Rafael Nadal, where he ends it up in the air. And Lloyd does have a little bit of that. I think he grew up watching Nadal a little bit too much, and that's where the style comes from.
Very much like a table tennis forehand kind of loop. If you watched table tennis and played it, from what I understand, a bit of history on Rafael Nadal, his uncle was very much into that as well, and a lot of his style came from that, to put so much spin on the ball.
Oh, well played. Two tough balls on the backhand there of Harris, and he managed to make them very well with a nice passing shot in the last.
And that takes quite a bit of confidence, because he's taking the opponent on. He knows the opponent's at the net and he's hitting it within striking distance for the opponent.
Interesting that Lazarov's actually striking his forehand more relaxed now. It's like the first set's over, let me get back into this. He overhit that last one, but he's looking more relaxed on his forehand, like he was a bit nervous earlier. He's definitely planning on being a little bit more aggressive in the set. Which obviously is not working at the moment, but I would say it was the right play. He needs to step up and be more aggressive and not give Lloyd the chance to step up before him.
Yes. And his backhand hasn't let him down much in this match so far. So that was one of the few times that he's hit it into the net.
That was two beautiful backhands from Lazarov, picking the corners very nicely.
I'm liking
very deep.
His backhand a lot. It's reminding me of
That's the one I was
Edberg.
just going to say. That's the one you were watching for Edberg, but Edberg didn't hit it as well. You just remember it like that.
Game South Africa.
A little bit more speed and pace going on the ball now in the first game of the second set.
And South Africa break immediately in the first game of the second set.
A little bit Lloyd maybe forgetting he's on hard court there.
And not clay. There's no
Yes, he
sliding.
looked like he was doing a bit of a clay move there.
At the risk of sounding like a stuck record, he seems to be reminding me more and more of sort of an Nadal-esque kind of thing. That sliding like on a clay court, the hairband, the top spin forehand.
Yes. No, he definitely, you do, you know, when you're young and the person that you were watching the most, and he obviously has his idols. I mean, I don't know who exactly he, you know, aspired to be like, but it would be a good guess. And yeah, the young guys definitely, I mean, Nadal is such a good guy to look up to. Speaking of, I mean, I think we're all super excited to watch them in February.
Yes, definitely.
It's going to be so awesome.
What was it? Tickets sold out in what? 12, was it
Yes.
7, 9, 12 minutes? And
Yeah, just so you know, interest sake, I was online. I didn't get tickets.
well,
I tried to get extras.
you and many other people.
Yes. Yes, it was 17 minutes it told me it was out, but apparently it went less than 12 minutes. So, Ed Sheeran, you are not as popular as you thought you were, because Nadal and Federer beat you in South Africa. Yeah, that was a good shot from Lazarov, and you know, Lloyd barely getting that, so it would have been lucky either way if he had gotten that point, but well-constructed point by the Bulgarian.
There was nothing, I think, that Lloyd could do about that. It was always going to go one way.
Yes, definitely. Not missing that easy overhead. Yes, just maybe a little bit over-eager to get to the net there. Not well enough struck on that forehand. You know, it's one thing to hit it hard, but sometimes the pace, you know, the faster you hit the approach shot, the faster it's going to come back. So you're not in position yet.
Maybe just also trying to speed things up a bit. He's one game to love up in the second set. He's taken the first set and maybe trying something different, and it's not quite working out for him at the moment.
Yes, that was a very well played point. Both players really keeping the ball deep, striking it well. Beautiful backhand there from Lloyd on that cross court. So, yes, got a chance to get himself back to deuce here.
And not drop serve.
Yes, very important.
Trying to go flat and fast there at an angle.
I actually think Lloyd was a little bit lucky in that point. He's giving just too many, Lazarov's really standing in one position. He's hitting a lot of balls. He's getting himself, you can see there Lloyd's looking a little bit tired, out of breath, because he was working hard in that point. So he really needs to try and, differ the speed of the balls, try and get one a little bit slower, one faster, because just hitting the ball is going to, be in the favor of the Bulgarian. Oh, good serve, right time to pull a nice big first serve.
That's excellent, and as you say, at the right time. Lazarov seems to be making Lloyd work for his points much harder. Like you're saying, he's standing in one spot and he's dictating the play and making him run from side to side.
Yes, and remember that's your average clay court player is used to quite a few extra balls per point compared to a hard court player. So that's where the disadvantage comes in. It's a different type of fitness they have. If, say, for instance, a South African is used to an average of 3 to 4 balls per point, especially if you're a powerful player with a big forehand, a clay court player would be used to 7 or 8 per point, and that adds up through a match. Ooh,
just unlucky.
That was, yes, very unlucky for the Bulgarian, very lucky for Lloyd.
He's done all the hard work in pushing Lloyd deep.
Great shot, the previous one.
Yes, and unfortunately just out.
Game, South Africa.
Well, it was good job holding his serve there.
South Africa lead 2 games to love.
It was a bit of hard work, but he held on in the end.
Was he 40 love down there? It was 40 love, 40-15,
40-15.
either way. Yes, either way, good work. Really got himself back in that.
And that was
just missed.
That was what won it for him,
please,
because had that point been in, it could have been a different result.
So 2 love up in the second set. Oh, now that is your beautiful clay court tennis example.
I was just going to say now, is that an illustration of an example of what you referred to earlier, where they are able to play longer for points because of the conditioning of playing on clay courts and needing to work so much harder.
And if you look at the styles, Lazarov, almost the longer the point goes, the more relaxed he becomes,
He gets
the
a
better
bit
he
of
hits
rhythm.
the ball. Whereas Lloyd, it looks like he becomes like it's harder work every shot. So that definitely is, and it's not like, for those of you who haven't played on a clay court, it's not that you can't, you know, it's not the only reason the points are longer is because that you cannot hit a winner as quickly. The balls are slower, the you know, the roughness of the court slows it down, so it takes you longer to hit a winner. And also with the sliding, one would think it's different, but you can reach a lot more. If your timing is right, you reach and slide to a ball that you would have never gotten on a hard court.
Because it bounces so much quicker, so it would have been passed already.
Yes, it would have gone past. And plus, if you're sliding, you can run wider and you time it, and you can actually go pick it up just before it bounces its second time, which on a hard court you can't do that. Yeah, that was those last 2 points just showing you that Lloyd worked just that little bit too hard in the first few points of that game, and also on his serve, he really had to take a lot of effort to get back from being down on his serve, so I'm pretty sure he's happy to be sitting down 2-1 up, but this could have even easily been a 2-1 down.
Yes, it could have, and to just reference your point on the courts being slower when you play on a play court, does it seem like Lazarov gets a better rhythm when he slows the game down? We see with Lloyd, he's trying to at times speed the game up, because I don't know if that's because of frustration or that he just wants to throw Lazarov off. But when Lazarov is dictating play, he slows the game down and he tends to win points. And is that a characteristic of maybe the growing up and the more exposure to the clay courts? As you said, it is a bit of a slower surface.
Yes, that, and obviously that's what Lazarov is comfortable with. When he's hitting the balls on the clay court, you know, your second ball, third ball, maybe it's landing 2 meters from the baseline. Next shot, you can actually feel like you can get it that 20 centimeters, 30 centimeters deeper. Each ball, you can just go, okay, a little bit more, and work your way through the point. Whereas Lloyd is comfortable with hitting shots and making the point happen fast. So it's almost like the two game styles are competing to see who gets to dictate the point with their style first. It's a very well played point. So those first two shots, you could clearly see both. The one was a slice, one was a slow forehand. They are trying to get Lloyd to have to generate the pace, because it's going to tire him out.
Yes.
And I'm saying they because the coach is involved.
Yes, the coach is involved. Yes.
He's giving the pointers from the side, which is why the coaches are there.
Out.
Lloyd again trying to close the points out as soon as possible, as you mentioned, and then comes the errors sometimes. Again, also you mentioned earlier not to look for the corners and just try to keep it on the court, and he's going for those corners again, and as a result he's just missing the lines.
Yes, he's very quickly down 30 love on his serve again. Not exactly the spot you want to be in every time.
Love 40.
Now a serious unforced error on that backhand there.
Lazarov must be quietly confident, and confidence is growing now. He's lost the first set, but he's willing to start, you know, fighting back in the second, and he's almost drawn level.
Well, I think also he knows, I mean, he's a fit guy. He knows his style is to obviously wear people down. And he's seen the kink in the armor. He does see that he has that on Lloyd. If Lloyd can't calm down his mind and realize that, you know what, I'm fit too, I've been training, I can handle this. But I think it's more a bit of like frustration and nerves that's, you know, taking its toll on Lloyd on this side.
Game Bulgaria.
Now that's well played from the Bulgarian.
And Belgrade draw level with South Africa, 2 games all in the second set. Certainly Lazarov taking the fight to Lloyd Harris, who seems to be getting a bit tired. maybe all the running around.
He's definitely getting a bit more tired. But you know, it's a lot of it is also just the realization of, oh my goodness, I'm going to have to really fight for this thing. He was happy, he was bouncy, and he was looking forward to short points. And now he's like, you know what, this guy's in here for the fight. But that's what Davis Cup and Fed Cup is about. It's not over. And
Love 15.
well, how do they say?
Until
Over
the
until
fat lady sings.
sings.
And in this regard, it seems maybe part of Lazarov's tactics is if I can frustrate him by playing longer and longer points, he loses focus and then makes my job so much easier.
Yes, definitely.
Love 30.
Oof, that was going to be a terribly short drop shot had
Yes,
that gone over.
I don't think Harris would have made it.
No, definitely not, because it had made way too much backspin on it as well. Would have bounced back to the net. Oh, that was a great volley from the Bulgarian. Very good pickup.
15-30.
Oh, good first serve.
30.
It sort of looked like it skid on and rushed.
Yes. Well, he hasn't really been getting his first serve in, and he does have a flat first serve, so we just haven't seen many of them.
Mm-hmm.
That's
But also another thing is he's changing the pace on his serves. He's doing one flat, one slice, one topspin, which keeps Lloyd guessing.
30-40.
He had the right intention
Yes,
there,
no,
Lazarov.
it was well struck, but just a little bit too much. So Harris being very relieved to see that go a little long.
Okay, South Africa.
He's definitely going to question
Yes,
that one.
that one, I must say, that could have gone either way. Not that we can really see
South
from this
Africa lead
perspective,
by
but
3 games to 2, second set.
as Marcus showing a kind of a shrug going, I don't really know.
Well, it's well done to Lloyd for winning that game after gifting, dare I say gifting, because Lazarov worked quite hard to get into this position where he is now. He's actually taking the fight to Harris.
Yes, I think a little bit careless from Lazarov in the last few points to not just, he shouldn't really go for too much right now. He should just make Lloyd understand that another ball's coming. So he went too big on both those shots on the last 2 points, just obviously feeling confident and feeling good. That's a replay of that point. That does look wide though. So once again, yeah, that is wide. So our South African line judges fortunately haven't let us down just yet. It is quite tough though, I must say. It's as you could see there, Lloyd was in front of the line judge. They have to, a lot of times they have to look through the legs, around the legs, and the player is moving. You never know what you're going to get. So it is a tough job, and especially when it's something like a Davis Cup and there's a lot on the line and the players get quite upset. I mean, I was one of them who had a very, I could be not too friendly to the line judges if the calls weren't great.
Break rackets and didn't...
No, I'll just keep saying no, I didn't. But yes, those who knew me on the tour, I was quite upset if I couldn't play the way I wanted to play. But yes, both players here are very professional. It's bad luck there. I must say, I think if I had to guess what Marcus said, it would definitely be to tell Lloyd to just not panic, just slow down, you've got a good shot, get it to his backhand, create your point, you know, create the opening. Don't just smack the ball around and
For the sake
create
of it.
pace. Yes. Work the point, wait for the short one.
Fault.
That's just long.
And possibly look to work his backhand, because it seems like that's been the target, to play it to his backhand.
Love 30.
Both players just missing on the sides a little bit too much, obviously trying to create the opening.
Also seem to be gifting each other game by game.
Almost ran over that ball, but
15.
got his feet out of the way nicely and made the shot.
Great
played.
volley.
And very relaxed too. You can see
13.
naturally that is more his game. That is more, you know, he wants to have short points. He wants to, you know, be aggressive.
And serve and volley obviously is something that suits his style of play.
Well, yes, and also, but it makes such a difference. Oh, well picked up. Unbelievably well picked up. Just not enough on that previous shot from Lloyd, but
40.
it makes such a difference when Lloyd can get his first serve in. Very neatly struck there. Just calm, nicely. You don't always have to hit the ball, just place it.
And another break point for Bulgaria.
Okay.
Double fault.
Bulgaria.
Lloyd not looking happy with that call, and
New
I
balls,
can
please.
understand why.
3 games all.
Timing is not great, but line judges haven't let us down so far. Not much that the umpire can do at this moment. If he's not going to overrule from there, that would be a line that he would very easily be able to overrule. So I think the chairman, the chair umpire, is actually quite confident that the call was right.
Harris, not so much.
No, but being in that situation, you do want to just, you know, see your balls all magically go in.
Especially at such a crucial stage of the game as well. I mean, it's 3-9 the second set. South Africa has taken the first, but it's certainly more even in the second set.
Sure, that was a well-played point from the Bulgarian.
15.
And I think what would be really nice if, you know, if we could put a little bit of paint on each of the shoes of the players, so that you could actually see how much running Lloyd was doing in that point, compared to the Bulgarian.
I was going to get back to the comment you made previously, that the Bulgarian is virtually standing in one spot and just dictating play. And he did that in the previous point, and he won the point. Not only is he winning the points, but he's also tiring Lloyd Harris, which is not a good thing, because especially at this stage of the match, where you actually want to be breaking away, and you've already done the hard work. You've got the first set, 3 games in the second set. You just need 3 more and it's over.
Yes, no, definitely. And you know, having had his serve here, Lloyd should have been up 4-2 now, not 3-all. So mentally, it's also a tough situation to be in. But Lloyd's working hard. He's really trying to stay in there. That's well played. Good answer.
30-15.
tired opponent on the other side who's been doing a lot of running, and drop volley is always a good answer.
One has to think, was this the strategy? I can play longer. I'm used to working harder for my points. Let's keep the rallies going as long as possible and tire him out, and then we can kick on from there.
That's a great shot. Well, definitely, you know, some players do use fitness for, you know, as one of the main things they use to beat an opponent. And just because naturally, I mean, and same with Nadal, I mean, naturally he is extremely fit. Everyone knows he's comfortable playing long matches. He's comfortable tiring a person out. Oh, he really should have just gone for the drop volley right there.
He should have.
But right move, obviously trying to get to the net to shorten the point, but yeah, it's not the right choice of shot there. So game point for the Bulgarian to go up 4-3, to be in the lead for the first time.
Yes.
Oh, well played, Lloyd. That was a really, really well played point. I mean, he was definitely, he dug himself out of a hole in that one. So, but now he just needs to take his time, as much time as he can possibly get in between these 2 points. Get his breath back. And just not go for too much. Oh, was going for the big serve and volley. There we go, and it's a break point for South Africa. Well done, Lloyd.
And it comes just at the right time.
Hanging in there, yes. Oh, that was an unbelievably well struck passing shot, because there was nothing wrong with that approach shot, and you know, he just that was very well struck from Lazarov.
Lazarov just too good there.
Just wide.
Advantage, Bulgaria.
Bit of puffing there.
Yes, he's definitely, but he's doing a lot of running. You don't want to see me after that right now. I think I'd be looking a lot worse than just puffing.
And again, Lazarov is chasing.
Bulgaria.
Yes, very well played game.
Bulgaria
Managed to save his serve there.
3 second sets.
So 4-3 to the Bulgarians. And they are definitely back into this match.
And the longer he just, oh, look at that racket speed.
And he's in fighting spirit.
It seems that way.
Yes, no, I think we've awoken the tiger in him.
Yes, and you know, it seems like it could be, or it certainly looks that way, like a disadvantage to South Africa and Harris, because the Bulgarian is just building more and more momentum. The longer the game goes on, the more comfortable he becomes, and the better he plays.
Yes,
That coupled with he's dictating the play as well, so he's got everything going for him at the moment.
Yes, definitely. And yes, there we can see the appearances 4 times in Davis Cup, 2 wins and 1 loss. First year 2016.
His world rank is 502.
you know, that's the thing. I think most people don't really realize how many good players there are out there and how tough it is to get into the top 200 and to get to the situation where you're playing a Grand Slam. So, you know, I think you see them playing and you think, oh well, they're playing Grand Slam, but the road it took for players to get to play in a main draw of a Grand Slam is just, it's tough. It really is tough.
15 love.
So good start for Lloyd, 15 love up. Really, really, really important for him to hold his serve here. So that's the reason for that ball that was flying. The string broke. And that's of course one of the other things you can't really time. Never know when that little weak spot in the string is going to go.
Excellent shot.
That's the Lloyd Harris game.
30 love.
Do you think if this was played on the high fault, it would have given Harris an added advantage because of his height? Because the balls, you know, travel a bit further, maybe bounce a bit higher, and he would be able to then be hitting the ball down, although he's had a couple of problems early on with hitting the ball down and getting into the net, but it would have maybe counted in his advantage.
It definitely would have favoured Lloyd, but once again also it depends on how long time he would have had to go and practice, because he's from Cape Town. So even though, for instance, I'm from Somerset West, played a lot of tournaments in, oh, well played Lloyd, great shot. So it played, obviously all the big tournaments for juniors in South Africa was always in Johannesburg, and it was always tough because, you know, the balls do fly. You know, you think you have to string your rackets tighter, you have to, you know, put more spin on your shot, so you also have to change your game. Mm-hmm. So I do think it was a good choice for them to put it in Cape Town, because it's more natural for the players to be there.
Second zone. She called it white.
Oh, that was quite unhappy about that call. The Bulgarian wanting to circle the mark, which of course you do with your racket on clay. If you're born, you know, if you're used to clay courts, you're used to just circling the mark instead of just pointing it out.
40, 50.
That's a good choice, just a little bit once again over the high part of the net.
But he does have 2 game points and he needs to make it count. He's let it drop in the past, but this is at a critical stage in the match and in the set as well. He needs to draw level. He's already down.
So you see Lloyd calling the balls from the other side of the net to get to see all of the balls, because for him it's quite important to see which balls have been used the least. Oh, well done.
South Africa.
Really, that we see that great speed that he's got there from the starting point. For a tall guy, he's really very quick off the mark. I'm sure that's something he works on a lot, seeing as his game depends on it. But that was a very, very good passing shot that we just saw the replay of. So 4-all, that was a great game to hold on to for Lloyd Harris, and very, very important here, because I mean, this could give him the opportunity to serve for the match.
And
he can break here.
And on the opposite side, Lazarov probably kicking himself
15.
Because he's done the hard work now to get back into this match, and I'm sure he's thinking, if he lets it go from here, what was all that hard work for?
Lazarov really bringing out two really good points here. So immediately races to a 30 love up. Not exactly what Harris had planned.
Okay, Bulgaria.
And Lazarov certainly making it count.
Bulgaria lead 5-4, second set.
Definitely not wanting to give up.
Yes, and I think, you know, also Lloyd must not be too hard on himself at the moment. They're on serve. So he should just stay calm here and just relax, take his time, really focus on those first serves, see if he can get some first serves in to give him a comfortable second shot. But yeah, this match can currently go anywhere. Both players having all the means and the opportunity to win. Nice overcast, slightly overcast day in Cape Town with no wind, which in tennis sense is fantastic. So there's the stats. First serve in on Lazarov's side, 77% in the second set, which is the difference from the first set. That first set, he really wasn't getting those first serves in. So that's a big difference. And we're not seeing the unforced errors there. 2 double faults from Lloyd, which were at some crucial times. But break points won. On Lloyd's side, 50% and Lazarov 33%, which didn't really make much of a difference. But definitely the first serve percentage from Lazarov's side, the fact that he's been able to bring that up and just give himself an opportunity to get an easier second shot to start dictating the point.
Yes, and
Balls down, please.
also his first, his points won on first serve as well. It's on 70%. Compared to 59% for Lloyd Harris. So he's certainly in the second set kicked it up a gear and he's taking the points and getting back into fighting for this tie.
Yes, well, let's hope Lloyd finds another gear as well.
Certainly in front of his home crowd.
Yes.
I'm sure Lloyd is hoping now that they didn't give those house rules at the beginning that people need to be quiet, because I'm sure he would like the home crowd to get behind him and make some noise now.
Love 15. Love 30.
And again, he's Lazarov dictating play, getting him to move around the court.
telling his fans to get a little bit louder. We saw some Bulgarian flags there in the beginning. A little bit of a breather there for Harris, but I do think this is probably the most important point in the set at the moment. Oh, well played. Very, very difficult shot, but he went for it. Go big or go home. And obviously, he is comfortable with hitting that inside-out forehand, and he decided, I'm going to make it no matter where I'm standing.
And he needed it at that time.
So that's 30 all. Well played, Harris. A lot of patience there from Lloyd's perspective, because he's not that comfortable with doing that, but he knew that's exactly what he was supposed to do, wait for the right opportunity and not really force the match.
And that's all he has to do, is just take his time.
Oh, just too much.
Deuce.
Was a well played point up to that moment. So deuce.
Advantage.
Oh, that was lucky. Oh, poor Lloyd, feeling the nerves.
Yes, he was definitely lucky. I was just going to ask you now, do you think either he's not confident enough
He
or he's
tightened up.
tired?
No, he
because
just didn't want to take the chance. I mean, you understand. It's a big point. He's missed a few overheads on important points. So he was just in his head. He's like, I'm just going to make that one.
Game.
Oh, well
South
done.
Africa.
Hang on to his
5
serve.
minutes, 4 seconds.
Very important game. So it's 5-all. The game is well and truly still on.
And Harris has one of two choices now. Either he's going to concede the second set and go to a third set, or he's going to close it out by winning the next two games.
Yes, no, definitely. This is a very important first point even. That was long.
Love 15.
And that very first important point, as you say.
Yes.
As Harris claims it.
And you saw there that Lazarov actually had he had a forehand slice. I actually think he was planning on doing a drop shot, and then Lloyd was a little bit too close. But the drop shot probably would have been a better option. He's going for the drop shot again. He's trying to tire him out, and it's working. Yes. So it definitely is, you know, he's making him run, because he knows the more he tires him out, if he manages to hang in this set, you know, he's going to have a tired opponent in the third set.
Excellent.
Oh, well done, Lloyd.
15-30.
Lazarov just not taking that extra step to that last ball. Maybe just a little bit too comfortable. Feeling confident, but not quite focusing on that last little step to the ball. It's always so important.
And it's not the time he wants to be dropping the ball. No pun intended.
30.
Push that one long. Oh, well played, Lloyd. Really finding that baseline. Was a bit nervous there for one or two of the balls that I thought they were going to go long, but obviously had enough spin on them for them to drop in at the back.
And again, maybe returning to what worked for him in the first set.
Yes, no.
When he went 4-1, when he raced to leading 4-1.
Yes, he's looking a little bit more comfortable with the fact that he has to play longer rallies now, but it's also because he's really not wanting to go to the third set. Oh, that's just too good. That's an expert drop shot.
Wait, please. Moment. Thanks.
Correction ball is good.
Ooh.
Advantage Bulgaria.
So, yes, so they...
Advantage Bulgaria. All in.
So now you see Marcus getting up there because technically the ball was called and it had distracted Lloyd, which the timing was quite difficult. So, you know, Bulgaria would argue the ball was already going to be hit out, but Marcus rightfully should be arguing that it was called during while he was striking the ball. So technically it should be play over, but yeah, that could go either way, and obviously the chair umpires decided to give the advantage to the Bulgarians.
Yes. Lloyd, advantage Bulgaria. It's his ad, so you'll have to go to the other.
Yeah, not Lazarov, also not quite sure of what's happening. I think he's kind of feeling also it should have been deuce right now. You know, there is a certain amount of, I mean, it doesn't matter really where you are in a match and how competitive you are. I mean, what's fair is fair, and the rules, if you were busy striking a ball, it would be that
Now we'll have to continue playing.
it would be the fact that they would be, you know, playing the point over, but chair umpire sticking to the fact that he is pretty sure that Lloyd wouldn't have made that ball. So at advantage Bulgaria.
And it's back to deuce.
Well, there's two things that happens on that. Is that the fact that he's now fired himself up a bit, plus he had quite a lot of extra time to rest before that previous point.
Yes. And
that was crucial.
You needed that.
Oh, well played. Both guys striking the ball very clean at the moment and looking like they are totally into this. So you can also hear from Lloyd's grunts. They are very, it's funny how you can listen to a player. They're very consistent and very, it's a relaxed grunt. He's putting in a lot of effort, but it's the same effort on every shot, which is good. Bad luck, that one, pulling that down, just a little bit too much down. He's had some luck previously with that backhand, nice and, you know, getting a good angle on it. It's obviously what he was going for. So back to deuce. A little mini marathon this game.
It seems like we just stuck on 5-all.
I think they feel the same. Oh, that's just too good. That is just too good.
His backhand has certainly been impressive today.
But you know, that's the advantage of a one-handed backhand, is you can hide it a lot better. With the double hand, you have to really turn your body as if you're going to go down the line and then pull it cross-court if you want to. But with a one-handed, you can stand facing cross-court and pull it down the line. Ooh, just wide.
Bulgaria leads 6 games to 5 seconds.
This becomes an interesting set because South Africa not having it all their way.
No, but that was very, I think, yeah, Lloyd just needs to focus on the fact that he is playing well. That was an extremely close game. That could have gone either way, and you know, he is serving. It's still on serve. Technically, he should be okay here, but obviously Bulgaria knows they can get the set, yeah?
And they're growing in confidence the longer this match is going on.
obviously the DJ has decided that they need to get the crowd up on their feet a bit and a little bit more in a relaxed mode. I always like it when they throw a bit of music in, because I find a lot of times tennis is a little bit too quiet. But I've played a lot of team tennis in my life, and they do the extreme. They play the music and in the middle between points. So, but it's quite nice. If you have a good DJ, it can be a great fun.
Is that something you would be advocating for, saying you must play more music?
Yes, definitely. I will be the first one to do that. I used to train on music all the time. The poor neighbors at my parents' house. I was fortunate enough to have a tennis court at home, and we had a neighbor that used to try and compete with me with opera music.
Wow.
So he would put the opera music on in his house really, really loud, and I would do the whatever was top of the charts at the time. And I think it was, when I just started playing, it was Wilson Phillips. So yeah, it was good music. But so big point here, big game, Lloyd Harris. And that's what we like to see.
An excellent first serve. Maybe a bit of a wake-up call, realizing that if he doesn't win this game,
oh,
excellent.
That was, I wish you could have actually got the speed on that shot, because that was so well struck. Both guys really hitting the shots clean at the moment.
I think maybe Lloyd realizing if he lets this one slip, it will be like starting the game all over again, because they'll be level on sets.
They'll be level on sets, but they definitely won't be level on energy level, I think. Lloyd has really, really worked hard this set, so if I was him, this would be, and I'm pretty sure he is also thinking the same thing. This is his set. He wants this one. So 30-15 for South Africa. And he's definitely dictating these points now. Big forehand again. And that second serve of his was a little bit more flat as well. He didn't quite go for that kick.
You're looking to play to his strengths now.
Yes, playing a little bit more risky, but he's striking the ball well, so he can. Oh, well played, Lloyd. That was, and that's what he wants to do. He wants to not only hold his serve, he doesn't want to spend too much energy on holding it. So if you can hold your serve at 40 love or something like that, it's perfect. So now he's got enough energy left. So we're going into a tiebreak here. So first 1-7. Bulgaria gets the first point, first serve.
First bite at the cherry.
Oh, well played.
1-0. Okay.
So now it's Lloyd's chance to serve again, getting his 2 points to try and get ahead in this regular tiebreak that they're playing. That's one way to do it.
He's going to have to pull out the big guns now whenever he gets his serve.
That was a little bit careless from Harris's side. Didn't quite get those feet out of the way when he ran around that forehand. Ran around the backhand, rather, to hit a forehand. Am I seeing a bit of a hand stretch going on there? Could be a little bit of cramping.
And Lazarov still looking fresh, so he's certainly used to playing a bit longer for his points.
Oh, well played. Great aggressive stepping in on that second serve. So 2-all. Not the right choice there on the cross court.
Lazarov just seems to be getting the advantage every time he comes to the net. Both players are coming to the net, but Lazarov seems to be having more success. And with his drop shots as well.
Yes, well, he's definitely a lot more comfortable with those drop shots, and he definitely hits them at the right times, which is important. Oh, yeah, that's just like sometimes, you know, you're there, but you're in such a rush because, you know, you have to, so they're changing sides. You realize you have to make a good shot at that point because you've been running so much.
It's not ticking.
Well, fortunately, in a tiebreaker, anything can happen. It's only 1 point. But, yeah, it can very quickly go downwards from this point.
South African team behind them on the stands there. Jeff could see the doubles coach of the US Open winners.
Yes,
also called in as a consultant to the Davis Cup team to help with this tie.
Yes, he's also an ex-player that's got tremendous you know, experience, and not just that. I mean, someone, I don't know if you've met Jeff, he's not the tallest person, he's quite a bit shorter than me, and to get that far in tennis with being quite short, that takes a lot.
Yes, I remember growing up and going to watch age group.
Oh, great volley. Sorry.
No
yes,
problem.
I was like taken over by this good volley. It's like I was watching him going, that's a tough one, that's a tough one.
and he got it.
Yes.
He needs to fight back. He can't allow him to get for Lazarov to get too far away. But getting it back to Jeff, he was like, you know, he was known. You knew this is Jeff. Could see from Okip, and he made a good name for himself as a junior already.
Oh, that was a good get from Harris, but unfortunately, an easy next ball for the Bulgarians. So 5-3 to Bulgaria in this tiebreaker, but it's not over yet. It's very well played.
It's going to be difficult to come back from that.
It will. Not impossible, but very difficult. So let's see what he does.
Iris will definitely have to dig deep, and while Lazarov just grows in confidence with every point that goes on in the second set.
And there they have it. The second set goes to the Bulgarians. Very, very good fight from Lazarov and from Harris. Both really, really wanting the second set.
And Bulgaria draw level, and now we're going to the deciding third set. Certainly didn't look that way in the first 5 games of the first set, that we'd be going to a deciding third set, but as the game went on, Lazarov again growing in confidence. You mentioned it as well, you know, the conditions that he has learnt his tennis in, that he plays his tennis in. It seems like they're in it for the long haul. They are more comfortable playing the longer points, playing the longer games as well, playing the longer matches, it's in this case. And he's getting the dividends for it now.
Yes, no, definitely. It's here we've got the second set summary. So the first serve points won now fairly even, but look at that, Lazarov, second serve in 100%, second serve points won 100%. And that's that big kick serve of his, very solid. He places it well, sets up a point, so it doesn't really matter whether he's doing first serve or second serve. His percentage is really high, and you know, it's very much a mental battle at this point. I don't think either player, you know, shot-wise, they can both win this match. There's nothing between them. But if I had to choose right now, I think that you know, Lazarov has the upper hand, and I've always felt very comfortable when I win the second set, because you're already, you know, you mentally, you're there if you won the second set. Okay, so we're just quickly going to go over to an interview we did with Marcus Andriska, with the coach, and see what he has to say about this tie.
So the preparations for the Davis Cup tie this weekend have gone incredibly well. I think we're fortunate that most of the team actually lives here in Cape Town. So they finished up their tournaments and got here a week or two early, even before this preparation week. And they've been hitting here in Cape Town. So they're very used to the conditions. They've been practicing hard, doing a lot of fitness, getting ready for this tie. So the keys here are not to over-prepare one way or another, just do the right amount that gets them ready and fresh for the weekend. And you know, I'm confident, based on what I'm seeing over the last couple of days, that we're well on track to do really well this weekend. It's going to be some incredible tennis. I'm glad that the seats in the stadium is sold out. It's going to be an incredible event with incredible atmosphere. So we're very, very excited about that. In terms of Bulgaria, I think it's a quality side. You know, they're definitely not coming with their number one player, Grigor Dimitrov, which from our perspective is a good thing probably, even though I would have loved to have seen Lloyd played against him. Yet, you know, the second, third and fourth players are pretty good as well over here. Some of the guys are a little bit young, so we're not quite sure what we're going to get from them. You know, you never know what a young person brings to the table on any given day. But you know what, I'm confident in our guys. They're very, very skilled. They've worked hard to get to this point, and you know, I'm looking forward to a great event, and you know, look forward to coming out ahead.
A few words from the coach, from Marcus Andriska, and you know, giving his side there. I know he's definitely trying to, you know, he mentioned how the number one Bulgarian player wasn't here, and it's, you know, it is always nice to see the top players from international side come and play, and to see how our players would do. So it was definitely a toss-up between whether you get an extra exposure for Lloyd to play against a really top player, or whether you've got the situation where you know, we have the possibility to win. So right now, you know, Lloyd definitely has an opportunity in this match to pull it through, and we also have Lazarov doing a great job on the other side. So whether you know, the fact that the team is young doesn't really count in anyone's favor. So let's see what the Bulgarian coach had to say about the time.
We're here from Sunday. We practice 4 or 5 times. We have a couple more sessions until Friday. So we are feeling good here in Cape Town. The weather is fine, just the wind is a little bit bothering us. We have a young team who is motivated to do well. So I think all the team there will give the best for the matches. So I think it's a good challenge for us. For the other team, they have a strong team. They have one guy who is 100 and the guy who is top 10 in doubles. But like I said, we are very motivated to compete, and we will give our best for the matches.
So there we have interesting perspective from the Bulgarian side. They definitely, it's interesting how he mentions the whole time about how motivated they are. And one can definitely see this in this match. They know they're young. They know that they don't have their best players, but you know, they want to make a statement. They want to definitely win this tie.
And as I said earlier, yes, they said they're definitely coming here to go away with a win. And he mentions that it is a young team. Mentioned it yesterday as well, but they're not letting that hold them back. I think they're using it as part of the motivation to say, you know, if you are young, what have you got to lose? Let's throw everything at it. And it certainly was evident from the way Lazarov is fighting back in this first time.
Yes, he's definitely putting in everything he can, and he's the body language. Also, second set, completely different story from Lazarov, and definitely looking like he knows he's in there. He knows he's up with a chance, and they're obviously just waiting there for Harris to come back. With I don't wonder if they've taken a bit of a, you know, sometimes you have a medical timeout that gets taken at the same time as the set changes, because there's definitely not on the women's tour there's a heat rule that they can put in effect, but there's definitely no heat rule going to be in effect for Cape Town today.
Not today at all.
We're sitting here, although it looks nice and sunny, it's still our chilly semi-winter weather.
Maybe just tactical.
Well, there's only a certain amount of time that he's allowed to go off the court, yeah, so he's not really allowed to be too long. So unless there's a medical timeout or some other reason, this third set should have started by now.
While everyone waits, it's a very, very important tie from a South Africa point of view. South Africa is looking to claim this tie and move up to Group 1, currently in a Euro Africa Group 2. They were relegated last year from Group 1, so they certainly have a huge prize to play for in terms of moving up to Group 1 and getting better opposition. But it's not all one-way traffic, as we've seen today. First set comfortably, Lloyd Harris leading 4-1, but Lazarov then fighting back. It seems like Harris is back on court now. So
maybe just a change of clothes as well. He's got his little kit bag there with him.
He going to put on his lucky shirt, because we're going into the third and deciding set now. See who will claim the advantage in this first match.
Both players having had nice little rest now, ready for the big fight of the third set to begin.
So now we wait and see. One has to wonder: does the longer break the momentum built by Lazarov, or does it give Harris that extra bit of rest that allows him to just come back? We'll have to wait and see in this third set now. Excellent passing shot there by Lazarov, who's certainly picking up where he left off in the equaling third set. Second set, I beg your pardon.
Your coffee hasn't kicked in yet.
Not yet.
Well, I think Lloyd's trying to get it back in the sense of like, I'm not running this set, you are.
I was just going to say that Lloyd seems to have taken a page out of Lazarov's book by playing those drop shots and making him run. Another excellent shot there by Harris. Maybe a pep talk at the break that if you want this, you're going to have to take it because it's not going to be given to you.
Oh, well done. Good start. So just swapping sides, not sitting down after the first game. Just a quick drink. And looks to me like a magnesium tablet there for some cramping, if I'm guessing. Definitely has, you know, you don't really know when those things are going to happen. So you've got a little bit of it's the electrolytes there, trying to get
some slow mag.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Trying the drop shot there, didn't work out this time.
Yes, going for his drop shots, that's been working so well. I'm sure Lloyd is quite happy that one or two of them doesn't work. Shaking out his legs there. He has done a lot of running.
Lazarov getting a bit animated.
As one tends to get in important matches.
And especially at this stage of the game, it's crucial, so going to be questioning everything to make sure that you get the upper hand or the advantage.
Yes, it's very important to get a good start in this third set.
A high kicking serve. There's a lot of topspin put on this on that, but you get a serve by Lazarov.
Yes, so we've confirmed that that previous query was definitely a fault. Had our wonderful camera guys check it for us.
Lazarov seems to be buoyed by the fact that he didn't get the ruling to go his way in that initial point, so
both players obviously quite tired after that second set. Just making a few loose errors from both sides. It's almost like it's a combination between relaxed, relieved, and really wanting this next set.
yes.
I guess 2 shots in a row from Harris. That's just been
So what
quite
is it?
careless.
What is it going to be? Is it going to be a case of whoever breaks first is going to have the advantage to claim the honors?
Well, I don't think it's going to be that easy in this set. I think it's definitely we're going to see a replay of that second set. If Lloyd can hold himself here, keep himself in this match with he's obviously struggling a bit on getting a bit tired, and there's some issues there with the cramping. But if he can stay in it, we're going to see a replay of that second set, I think.
Allowed Lazarov to really come in and just take the advantage at the net there. Played the ball quite wide, forced Harris to stretch, unable to get the return in.
Bit of a miss hit there. It's quite important now for Lloyd to hold on to his serve here. He really doesn't want him to run away in this third set. Nice first serve.
He's going to need to have a bag more of those to make sure he gets the upper hand.
Yes, he's really, he's going to need some. Oh my goodness. What a great forehand.
Too good.
He's just, yeah. Lazarov basically just saying, you know, Lloyd closed his eyes and just hit it. But, yeah, that's what you call a tee off. Tee off and hope it goes in. But I'm pretty sure that he's done that a few times in his life. Well played, hung in there.
Yes.
He needed that.
Yes, no, definitely. Bit of relief there, get back on dues. Interesting choice. But it worked.
The safe choice.
Yes. No, well, you know, it's a tough shot, that one. It's actually not as easy to let that one just come down and do this little dinky shot. But I think he's missed so many overheads that he's decided that's maybe a better choice.
Absolutely.
Which it was. It caught his opponent off guard. Oh, well done, Lloyd.
South Africa.
So he's just proving to his Bulgarian opponent that this is not by any chance over yet. He still has a lot of those left.
And some more magnesium tablets.
Well, you know, sometimes when you know there's something wrong, and you realize that maybe you don't have that much left in you, or whether it's, I mean, cramping is not something you can control. So it's, you know, if they've figured out how to get rid of it, no one would have it anymore. But it's definitely something that mentally you make a switch where you know what, I've only got this. It could be completely count in his favor. He could just make a mental step up and say, well, now I'm going to have to make every ball. And you never know, that might just work in his favor. So let's see what he does with it. But I mean, if you look by the last 2 points, he knows I cannot run 15 balls every point anymore. I have to make it shorter. I have to take a few chances, but some you know, calculated chances. Yes, exactly.
Time.
Lazarov takes the first point off his serve in the 4th game. Harris getting the advantage so far. The last 2 points going his way. And as you said, Nani, he knows he may not have much left in the tank anymore, so he needs to close it out as soon as possible.
Oh my goodness.
Just
yes,
like that.
Just like that. Like you said, a few more of those. There we go, Lloyd.
Harris breaks serve for the first time in the deciding set. Is that the first
Yes,
time?
definitely. Yes, so we're seeing a typical Lloyd way of playing. He's bringing back his own style, whether it's chosen or not, more forced, I think, making sure that he's doing what he needs to do to save his body a little bit.
So he has the chance now to go 4-1 up, which would be the same as he was in the first set, where he also labored to that first set win, and hopefully I would imagine he's thinking he doesn't want a repeat of that.
Yes, and a little bit of a careless forehand there.
It seems like every time he gets the advantage, he tries to take a bit more risk or whatever, and careless shots, and sometimes that just gives Lazarov the chance to get back into the game.
Yes, no, definitely. He's had a few slips like that, but that comes with experience. It comes with the years. So they definitely. Oh, there we go. Just hand yourself another point. This, I think, if we see the stats of this set, it's definitely going to look a little bit different when it comes to aces.
Yes.
15-30.
Is it a foot fault?
No, I don't. I presume so.
Because it certainly was in on the side.
You know, I've been watching Harris's back foot on the deuce side. He takes a step backwards before he tosses before he goes up for the ball, and that foot has been very close to the middle line. So I actually think that is the
problem.
The problem there, because it's not forward. Oh, that's a good shot.
And
well, that's a quick
that's
change
quick
in
swing,
this.
yes.
Yes, quick change in this game.
Does he break straight back?
Oh, nice shot. Yes, that's very well struck and very confident. Also very relaxed, getting his feet out of the way. It's been a bit of a culprit in the last set where he doesn't quite get his feet out of the way with the running around the backhand, and then he ends up pulling the shot either wide or in the net. That's a bit of a gift. Yes.
It is a bit of a gift.
That
but
backhand really
yes.
wasn't normal for Lazarov, so let's say thank you. And deuce in this important game. That let just breaking the timing a bit.
It's such an important, crucial stage as well. But that's part of the game. Yeah, he's claiming the advantage right back.
Yes, no, it's Lloyd has been pulling out some of those. Doing a good job. Oh, risky choice, but the right choice.
Definitely.
So that's not an easy shot to make. Plus, he chose an extremely difficult option.
Quite
Getting
tight
around
there
it,
as well.
yes, but well played, well made. What a, yeah, that's a good shot. But he, you know, you can see the nerves on. You can see the nerves on the side of Harris, because there were at least 2 shots in that rally that Lloyd would have previously easily come in and taken a good shot to the backhand side, very deep, which actually came back quite high. He would have easily in previous times stepped up and. Did I hear correctly? Did he just get a warning? The Bulgarian.
I didn't hear that.
But so he would have easily stepped up for a forehand volley to just come in and close the point. But if you put tight, it's the right choice not to do it, because if you're going to come in for that, you need to do it with confidence.
That you're going to win that point and close it out.
Point
yes.
and do it like that drive volley that he did. If you're going to make those shots, do it confidently. Because if you're going to just tense up a little bit, then you're going to definitely not make it. Yes, that was an interesting, whether that was a funny bounce or just a very short ball. But either way, worked out in Harris's favor. I'm sure he's not complaining.
Yeah, I think he's just thinking about the next 2 games, because that would seal it for him.
Marcus getting very animated there. Would love to know, be a fly on the seat there, not because there's
Just
no
to hear
walls.
what he's saying.
To see what he's saying. And right choice, but just a bit too much.
And it's the second time it's done that with him after working so well.
Very neatly done. You know, those easy shots can be so difficult in a tense situation, and that was just very carefully got around it, hit it that he was going down the line.
I think what the mistake Lazarov's making here maybe is underestimating how deep Harris is willing to dig now, knowing that he needs to close it out. He's going to give it his all. He's got 2 games to win, and then he can have a rest.
Well, see, that's the like you said, that could be the one way. The other way also is the Bulgarian's got nothing to lose. So he can also get a bit looser. A lot of times you get that where, you know, some people play better when they're behind. And for them to come back, they've always got, well, if I'm anywhere behind, I'm anyway just going to hit the shot. Why not just go for it?
But he's certainly trying to make Harris run. He tried again to play that drop shot earlier, and it just didn't work out for him.
That's a great shot from Harris. Definitely placing the ball very nicely now. Nice and deep. Getting a bit of an angle. Yes, 2 break points to get a very, very comfortable 5-1 lead. Great shot there from the Bulgarian. Obviously putting a little bit extra on it.
It's not quite finished yet.
No, he's not planning on giving up this easily. Great point. Shame, Harris did nothing wrong. It's with some tough shots, difficult to play from there. And both players really just giving their all. So we're back to deuce.
Certainly not easy out there.
That looks like Lloyd had a bit of a funny step there on that one. I'm thinking,
could that be why he had the longer medical break? Or no, not the longer medical break, but the longer break.
Possibly a medical. Yeah. Yes, you know, maybe he had a bit of a quick rub on the one leg. So advantage Bulgaria.
Good.
Good serve.
South Africa lead 4 games to 2. Nice.
All right, so now it's 4-2. Lloyd will have to hang into it here. This was a replay of that very difficult point.
And we saw it in the first set as well. Lloyd was leading, and then, you know, he just about won that first set because Lazarov recovered quite nicely. I'm sure Lloyd doesn't want a repeat of that.
Oh, beautiful backhand.
15 love.
And he hasn't done very many down the line
No,
backhands because he keeps ripping it cross court. But yeah, that was very well played.
when he needs it.
Yes, that's just quickly made a statement. Just wide. Not the right time to get that double fault going. But when is it ever? So 15 all.
Let's.
Bulgarians really getting behind their player here.
And Lloyd's back and letting him down again there into the net. It's for the umpteenth time today.
He really could have made that shot, but I'm sure Lloyd did not really mind it. So 30 all.
Lloyd having to just hold on to his serve here. He can't allow. Because it was in this manner that Lazarov came back as well in that first set. He was leading 4-1 and Lazarov held his serve, then broke, and then all of a sudden it was 4-all.
Oh, well done. But Lazarov not happy with that call, it seems. It is a very fast serve to watch, though. Not that that's an excuse to make difficult calls, but it is fast. Ooh, just on the baseline. That was a very, very good return.
That was even too quick for my eyes. I thought it was out.
Yeah, Lloyd really wishing that was out. You could see by the roll of the head there. Oh, great serve.
Yes.
I think it's more a matter of Lazarov really wishing those serves would want to go out now. We checked the previous call as well, and And that one was also right on the line. So umpire's doing a job, and so is Lloyd. Good choice. So now he just needs to hang on to this one, getting a little bit of shoulder shrugging there from the Bulgarian side, which...
Asking, probably, what more do I have to do?
Well, he knows if Lloyd keeps putting those serves in like that, there's not much he can do. But yeah, he's managed to fight back before, so... And it's a very relieved Lloyd Harris walking to the changeover. That was almost a 4-3, not a 5-2. So
yes.
Well done, Lloyd. And I'm sure the Bulgarian knows that too. He looks it. So, but the fight is still on. South Africa up 5-2 in this deciding set.
And he needs to break now, Harris, in order to close it out once and for all and save him some of the misery, because as we've seen, the Bulgarians seem to just be able to last a bit longer.
Well, the other thing also is now being in Lloyd's situation. I mean, do you just accept that Lazarov's going to be winning his serve, or do you fight for this game and spend a lot of energy on it? Because Lloyd is serving second on each changeover, so he can't really afford to spend a lot of energy on that and then have to serve after that. So, you know, once again, first serve aces, 3 from Harris, double faults 2 though, almost cancelling out his aces if you look at it. But he's struck him at really important times. And then Harris has lifted his second serve percentage. You know, the first and second serve percentage is looking good. But one would like to have the second serve on 100%, not 86.
Yeah, exactly, as we saw with Lazarov in the second set.
He's going to make him run. Now it's Marcus getting up for that call.
And I'm sure he's going to question everything now because there's so much riding on it.
But it's interesting, though, that the chairman, the chair umpire decided to call that because you actually heard the chair umpire before you heard the line judge.
Yes.
He likes that shot and feels very comfortable doing it too. So, well struck, 15-all. That could have gone either way.
Yes. But I suppose it's fair in that it came from the... Did it go over?
No. I'm not sure. I thought it bounced the same side.
I thought the same.
That's a great pickup. So the Bulgarian up 40-30, serving for the game. Lloyd just not wanting to mess up that volley and just going for just that little bit. You know, he should have gone for a bit more, but one doesn't blame him in this situation.
One has to wonder, is he carrying some sort of niggle?
No, I really just think it's the cramping that's in one leg. But he's on a bit of a race against time, if you ask me.
Juice.
And that
A
is
double fault.
a very unfortunately timed double fault for the Bulgarian. He has to laugh about that, which points for him that he's laughing about it. Could have, yeah, that's not nice.
However, he's not going to laugh about it if he loses the next 2 points.
Yes, exactly.
Advantage Bulgaria.
Oh, it's made up for that one. Decided to go for it, and it worked.
5-3.
And maybe your explanation as well, just before the last game started, really, you mentioned that Lloyd would obviously be having to make a decision. Do I actually put in a fight for this game, or do I conserve my energy and wait for my service game and then look to win it and win the match?
Yes, I definitely think he was saving his energy in that one, and he went for a few big shots like that return, and he obviously knew if it pays off, it pays off. But he needs his energy for his serve, so let's see if it works. There we go, and tries to get an extra little bounce in there. He says 3 more, I can do this. Still very casual on that one.
Needs to up that second serve percentage.
Oh, well played. That was really well played. Made sure he used the whole court, and strategic little drop shot right at the end.
And it worked out for him this time.
Just losing his balance a bit on that one, putting it long. So 30-15 for the South African. Would be really nice if he could just pull out 2 really big serves here and just say, thank you very much, I'm done.
But that has been the story of this game. When you just think that things could go one way, it goes the other.
Here we go, that's one.
40-15.
So match point for the South African. So he just needs to really tell himself it's not, feet. Keep the, a lot of times just keep the swing going well.
Is it going to be one big
Don't
serve?
slow down. Well. Oh, it's just that little bit.
40-30.
Bulgarian just seeing the glimmer of hope there, and he's definitely going to fight for it. It's not going to be given. So Lloyd has to know it's not going to be handed to him. Just keep fighting. Yes, and he ends it with a beautiful serve down the middle. And South Africa has the first tie of this Davis Cup tie, first match in the bag. And that was definitely a very, very good performance from Lloyd Harris, who's, I'm sure, is super relieved that they've just shaken hands.
Definitely.
Yes, he looks it.
What looked like one-way traffic early on in the first set. Turned out to be quite a competitive match from Alexander Lazarov as well.
Well, there's quite a big difference if you look at the first serve that Lazarov got in the third set. It's 46%. That definitely, remember the second set, he had a very high percentage both first and second serve. And that definitely made it possible for Harris to step up and take that. He struck a few really nice returns that he stepped up and went for it. And that gave him the opportunity to shorten points, which was key for him. You know, obviously, as we could see, the full score there is 6-4, 6-4, 6-7, 6-3 in the favor of Lloyd Harris. And that's our first one down for the day.
Coming up in the next 20 minutes or so, we'll have South Africa's number 2, Ruan Rulovsa. He'll be up against the Bulgarian number 1 seed, Dimitrov Kuzmanov. Certainly going to be a big match as well, and probably very competitive as well if the first tie or match is anything to go by. We're expecting someone of Lloyd Harris's caliber to have the upper hand and the advantage and basically walk over Lazarov, but it was not to be, as Lazarov gave him some stern competition.
Yes, but you know, that's the thing with Davis Cup. There's a lot of players who it brings out something special in them. Anytime you are representing your country and you are not really just playing for yourself, there's a lot more riding on it. Some people fold when that happens, and other people absolutely thrive. And I definitely see a really good future for Lazarov. He's you know, he's got all the shots. He's definitely one of those players he's got a good attitude, his mental abilities. I mean, you can see he definitely can fight. So I think there's a nice future ahead for him.
Okay, so we'll be back in the next 20 minutes for the second match of the day. As I mentioned, between Ruan Rulovsa, the South Africa's number 2 seed, up against the Bulgarian number 1 seed, Dimitrov Kuzmanov. And we'll now go to an interview with Lloyd Harris.
Hi, I'm Lloyd Harris, and it's really been a great year for me on the tour. I think definitely a season breakout for me, getting to play all the Grand Slam tournaments. I mean, so many highlights to talk about, from winning a challenger title in the start of the year, winning a couple of great matches throughout in ATPs, also my first Grand Slam win in the French Open, playing Roger Federer. I mean, one of the true stories of my year for sure. It was an unbelievable experience, something I enjoyed thoroughly. And yeah, now we're here, ready for the Davis Cup, and something we're always excited about. So happy to be in Cape Town. And after that, just another stretch on the tour, something I'm also looking forward to. And yeah, it's been a great year, and I'm just looking to improve.
So South Africa will be putting their hopes on you and Raven to take us into the next group of the Davis Cup. How do you see that happening this weekend?
I feel we have a good chance. I mean, Raven's been doing unbelievable throughout the year. Probably one of his best years on tour so far. So I'm confident that he'll add a lot of value to that doubles tie. And you know, I've been playing well too. I mean, I'm trusting my ability. I feel super comfortable here in Cape Town. I'm enjoying every bit of it, you know, just being around home, being around my family, friends. And so I feel like I'm carrying that over into my tennis, and I'm playing really well, preparing well, and I'm looking forward to an excellent tie on the weekend.
When we look at the rankings, the stats, South Africa should be winning this tie in the canter, but we know with Davis Cup that's never the case.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Davis Cup, anything can happen. You know, it's a different part of our sport. You know, this team kind of environment. Anything can happen for sure. But I feel like we do have the ability, we do have the players to beat them, and I'm confident in all of us.
Hey, I'm Alexandar Lazarov. I'm half American, half Bulgarian, born in the US, Miami, Florida. I come from a tennis family. My father, my grandfather, my uncle, everybody plays tennis. Even my grandma is a referee, so tennis is a big part in our lives. This year has been good for me. In the beginning of the year, I qualified on the ATP 250 in Bulgaria, beating 2 guys in the top 100. It was something quite special for me, and I'll never forget it. I'm turning 22 this November, so I'm still young, I'm still learning. I'm happy to be here because being with the team means a lot. I learn a lot from them, from our captain, and the training camp so far has been great. The conditions, the people are very friendly here, and I've never been before, so it's my first time, and I'll definitely try to come back in the future. The South African team is pretty good. I've seen a lot of highlights of Lloyd Harris playing matches. I saw him taking a set off Federer this year at Wimbledon, so I think he prefers fast surfaces, and it will be good for him here. I hope it goes all the way because I'm pretty sure many fans will come to watch, and I'm just excited. I hope we win, but it's going to be a tough one.